wanna do a podcast? We make a darn good team. It always goes without a hitch. Let's head to Twitch and go start up the stream. Do you wanna do a podcast? It's the Nerd Glasses Podcast. Let's start now. Hi everyone and welcome to the Nerd Glasses Podcast. Come?
Alright, I'll do my own bits myself.
Oh wait, no silence.
We're doing it. Get off the road.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Nerd Glasses Podcast. I am Boater. I am soon to be joined by my co-host Dave. He is indisposed at the moment and I don't want him to miss any of the awesome stuff that we've got planned for this week. Also, I was kind of relying on everybody else for content this week. I didn't have the time to put a bunch of my stuff together, just the normal ones, but I want him to be able to be here while we laugh at crypto stuff together and we shake our heads at a Twitch ban together and so forth. So I'm waiting for Dave to show up. I actually figured this is a good time for me to mention the tabled topics from last week. If you are unaware, we don't always get to everything that we want to do every single week. And so in our Discord, which is down below, you can join that. You go to the Nerd Glasses Podcast section there, and right there you can see tabled topics, stuff that we don't get to. And one that I wanted to, that I enjoyed was a couple of weeks ago, a bunch of employees at a GameStop in Lincoln, Nebraska walked out. And there's a couple things that make this one interesting. Number one, that is the second time that has happened at that store in the last year. That is the fourth time it has happened in that region in the last year. The other two times being at another Lincoln, Nebraska store. And all of these times it's been blamed on a bad district manager and bad corporate policy from GameStop. We know that GameStop has been looking into doing crypto and they have their meme stock going for them, but they treat the store level like garbage because they realize that selling video games isn't what makes them a profit anymore, so they're not bothering to do anything for the sales associates at that level. So being treated like absolute garbage, they left. And the other interesting thing that I like about this particular walkout was that not just did the employees at the store leave, they also put a notice on it. I don't know if it was in a mall or adjacent. There was a notice that was on a glass pane, like a glass door. So it was either, mall with a glass door entrance or adjacent, like a plaza kind of thing. And they gave you a list of other places you could shop that weren't GameStop. Well, specifically that weren't like that store. If you need games, we suggest shopping here, which I think is a very friendly thing to do for your customers. It's not the customer's fault that this has happened. And for the most part, GameStop customers are great. Like here at Insane Games, we love our customers and we wouldn't want to do anything to hurt them. Now, I'm not saying that we're going to be walking out, oh my God, this is going in a wrong direction. But there's caring for the customers, and that's a good way of doing that. But again, I mentioned that there's other GameStops around town, and they absolutely did not mention them. They were like, check out this indie place, check out that hobby shop over there, check out all these different places that you can go and get games. So it was closed for a few days while they managed their staffing and so forth. I realized that I've been playing with a chainmail cube the whole time, and that you guys can hear it in the headset. I apologize for that. Yeah, so that was one of my table topics from last week, just the whole working at GameStop sucks. And it was really backed up by a lot of the online discourse in that 10 years ago, 10 years ago, working at GameStop was great because they took care of you. It was still a really profitable business for them in just selling used video games. And now, because there's so much online delivery, it's not really a thing anymore, but customers were treated well. It was jobs that they enjoyed. And almost everyone has said yeah, it sucks now, or I would never go back or anything like that. So unfortunate that happened. GameStop, you got to take better care of your employees. And folks, if you're looking to get some games, Insane Games, Wilton Mall. That's all I can say. Back when it was power to the players, says Dude Icarus. Yeah, power to the players and power to the the people that helped you play, because we're not just you grab something off the shelf, we grab you the disc and send you home. Um, all of us here have stories of times when we've been talking with a customer for 15 minutes, 30 minutes, a couple hours about something, and it's mostly about games, and they end up buying something afterward. My personal one was back in the Xbox 360 and PS3 days, talking with someone about the intricacies of Forza Motorsport 4 versus Gran Turismo 3, and just which is better for sim, which is better for customizing, and so forth. And that stuck with me. It's the kind of thing that sticks with a customer. And yeah, the people working at that store level do care about what they do and need to be treated with that respect by the people employing them. So, no, I'm not also talking about bookstores at the same time. Why do you ask? The other tabled topic from last week was quality assurance employees at Keyword Studios' Edmonton office voted to unionize. Now, we've already talked about Raven Software QA unionizing. Um, Keyword Studios in Edmonton, they are known for doing QA on a lot of BioWare properties. They've done quality assurance on Mass Effect Legendary Edition, Star Wars The Old Republic Legacy of the Sith expansion, and they've been doing work on the upcoming Dragon Age Dreadwolf. So they've been doing a lot there. They are not BioWare employees. They are employees of another studio that does a lot of contract work for QA and so forth. But they still made the vote to unionize, and a good note there is that they, excuse me, Keyword was like, we acknowledge the vote of 16 employees to unionize, and we'll do nothing to stand in the way. So it was a really cool, like, especially in contrast to what Activision, everything is in contrast to Activision. Um, that where Activision is like, oh, fighting it tooth and nail, and making snarky comments afterward, like, oh, well, they shouldn't. We've talked about it. That Keyword was like, yeah, we respect that, and good for them. On a similar note, this past week, I think Xbox stated explicitly that they will be honoring all unionization efforts within Activision. So, specifically Raven, they will not be doing anything to try to fight that as that deal continues to go forward. So, Activision is a good heel and all this. Activision has always been a good heel. Uh, we were talking in our group chat yesterday about various racing games, um, which then I realized you guys talked about racing games on Behind the Counter yesterday too. So at least to some extent. And I was mentioning that Bizarre Creations, which did Project Gotham Racing, was sold by Microsoft, bought by Activision. They did one game, and then the studio canned them. They did one game that isn't exactly what they were known for. When you think Project Gotham Racing, you don't think of Combat Racer, but okay, we'll have them do this. Blur was a good game. Didn't do super great numbers, partially because we hadn't had a good Combat Racer for like 10 years, and then Blur and Split Second both came out in like the same month. So it's only so big a market, and it didn't do super great. And Activision was like, oh, can them. And they were doing that a lot around that time, around 2010. They were buying a lot of studios, getting one or two things out of them, and then either canning them or just being like, you work on Guitar Hero now. You work on Call of Duty now. And that was about it. They apparently did a 007 game just after. You said Bizarre Creations did, or As Bizarre? Oh, my mistake. But also, a 007 game isn't necessarily what you think of when you think of a storied racing game developer either. So I don't know. That's what I've got from Table Topics last week. Again, if you're ever interested in seeing what we couldn't get to every week, make sure that you check that Table Topics section of the Discord. The link for that is below. If it's not GoldenEye, is it really a 007 game? I mean, that's a real good question there, Demon Dragon. Okay, let's get input. what other 007 games have you played that you felt were, if not as good as GoldenEye, at least worth being a 007 game? Uh, Me, I haven't played any, so I have no horse in this race, but I'd love to hear what you guys think. Um, oh god, I had a train of thought, and then I lost it. Oh yeah, Discord down below. Make sure that you're following us. A bunch of great creators, and that's about all the stalling I can do. So I'm actually going to get into um, some of the features that we do when we're starting when we start the show here, and that is, let's see, there was a good one right after. It was either Nightfire or Agent Under Fire. Actually, I remember Agent Under Fire selling pretty well. That doesn't mean it was a good game, but I do remember Agent Under Fire doing quite well. But I also know that because GoldenEye got so popular, there was a ton of 007 games on like PS2. So, I don't know. I remember when I first started doing this kind of thing. Um, yeah. Uh, when I first started selling video games, I remember seeing a ton of 007 games. Dave is still indisposed, so I am joined by present day Steve. I know that we had some reporting going on back in the day, a few days ago with our stuff over the weekend, and we'll get to past Steve soon. But present day Steve, welcome.
Hi, thank you. Fuck that guy, past day Steve. He's an asshole.
Wow.
Anyway,
Wow.
one thing I forgot to do to set up. Yeah.
Awesome. If you want to raise your chair, I don't know. The gas cylinders on these feel like they're gonna like I can put it all the way up, and then over the course of the stream, I'm just like, beep.
This is the one I lowered for behind the counter. Cause
Aha.
yeah.
Um. Anyway, I will hold off on the joke at least until Dave is here because he deserves to groan at that. But do you want to hear a silly Twitch ban?
Sure.
This is going to a gentleman by the handle of Osmongold. And no, I am not looking at notes on my hand. Actually, I am. I forgot to take notes earlier and I scribbled them on the nearest surface. So, Asmongold has a secondary account, and he was playing Diablo Immortal on that.
Mm-hmm.
Diablo Immortal has in-game chat that is moderated, has filters on it and such.
I don't like where this is going.
But people that know Unicode know how to drop slurs into chat and not let it get caught. And so a racist slur was dropped into chat while Asmongold was streaming on his second account. And interesting. While Asmongold was streaming on his second account, and Twitch banned him. Pretty much, their thing is that like you can't always control everything, but like in-game chat you can set to not be open. Discord chat you can make sure that people that you're streaming with know to obey TOS, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But again, like if you're playing and it hasn't been a problem, whatever, and all it takes is just one guy in there to realize, oh, you're streaming, and I feel like being a troll. To drop an N-bomb and get you banned. It was a 24-hour ban, and he said during that like, oh, I won't be streaming on my main account today because my secondary account is banned, and that would count as ban evasion. So he was smart about that. It was undone. I think it was supposed to be like a week-long ban or a 3-day ban or something like that. It ended up being reversed in 24 hours.
Good.
So I don't know if it was meant to be 24 hours. I don't know, but yeah, it was. Unfortunately, that is a ban on the account, but
It's not entirely on him, but on him a little bit.
yeah, I mean, I get where they're coming from, but it's also it's weird because like in some stuff you want to be able to be in like an open voice chat or something like that, and you want to have the social aspect of the game while you're playing it, and when it came up, he decided not to acknowledge it and to let it scroll off screen. Because the minute you acknowledge it, then you would just invite more trolling and so forth. He just decided, I'm not going to acknowledge it. I'm just going to let it go. And apparently, I don't know if maybe even like the person that said it was like watching them and reporting them or something. It's um, at the same time, just turn off open chat. I assume that there's an option to do that in Immortal.
Probably, most likely.
I don't know. There's a lot we could say about Diablo Immortal, and we probably will later in the show. But
I mean,
for
yeah,
now,
everyone has a phone, don't they?
that was the ban that we were looking at this week from Twitch, Asmongold's second account. Do you? So I know that Dave has his list of games coming. You know what? Forget the games coming out. Steve, what have you been doing lately? What have you been watching? What have you been playing?
I've been watching a lot of showcases lately. Uh, Hyping about all of them, more or less.
Okay, okay.
Uh,
Yeah, because this is like E3 season, and 10, maybe 15 years ago, everything was at E3 this past
Yeah.
weekend. And now, especially since E3 isn't happening right now, but I would say 10 years ago is when I really started going to, yeah, sure, E3 is still a thing, but we're also going to do our own things a few days ahead of time. So yeah, we're in peak showcase season right now, and I know that we will get to that. Slash, we did get to that because time travel tense is weird,
yeah.
and we'll get to that. What else? What do you?
I've been actually getting back into Forza Horizon 5, getting ready for the DLC Hot Wheels.
Nice,
Looks so good. So excited.
nice.
What about you? What have you been playing?
I have been playing a lot of Sunless Skies. I was like looking through my Steam library and I saw this and I kept skipping over it for years. I've had this thing for years. And I was finally like, you know what? Let me pop this in and try it. Uh, and I think I did that like Saturday night. Put a bunch of hours in. Put a bunch of hours in Sunday. Put a few hours in yesterday. And it has been really, really fun. Like it's a 2D game. You know, you can tell that it has its roots in a nautical game. But it's, you know, you're a steam engine in space. It's a very cool, like, steampunk-y, like, dark horror stuff going on. It's a roguelike, so if you die, which I've done a few times, then you know, you have to make another captain that continues the lineage. Quests that have been completed stay complete, but quests that are in progress, you need to start over again. You get some of your stuff, some of your cash, etc. Yeah, I'm really enjoying that to the point where I apparently can't go a day without playing it, and I will be playing it tonight on the Citadel.
Nice.
So I'm excited to do that. I've got a few friends that would be interested in watching, so they'll be in. If any of this looks interesting to you, then make sure you stick around tonight for the Citadel, where I will be playing Sunless Skies.
How you described it at first, I immediately thought of. Have you ever heard of the game called The Ship? It's an old kind of PC game.
No, I haven't.
It was kind of Among Us before Among Us. Where,
Okay, okay.
You each play a character on a ship. It's an old like steamboat ship, and you have to go around. You have one person to kill. Everyone has one person to kill. And
Okay.
It's each other, and you have to get away with it without getting caught by other people.
Yeah, okay, okay.
So like, you, me, Dave, Dan, Mike, whatever, all of us play. I'll have to kill Mike. Mike will have to kill Dave. Dave will have to kill you. You'll have to
Etc.
kill Dan. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I figured I'd have to save you from figuring out at the last one. Wait, who haven't I said yet?
I almost got there, but yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I my one of my RPG groups is playing a game called Blades in the Dark,
Mhm.
and its atmosphere is very similar to this. It's not steam engines in space, but it's this dark kind of, well, sunless look, and you know, the dark horrors that lurk within, kind of thing. The atmosphere is very close there. It's reminding me of that a lot as I play it. Of course, I've been playing it on my own, so it'll be interesting playing it on stream where all of a sudden, oh, I shall voice all of the narration. And that's the cool thing. It isn't just as going around and shooting. What I love the most about it is the story beats. All of the quests have like well-written narration and such. It's not voiced at all, but everything that's written out. So yeah, really enjoy it. The Sovereign Edition is out for a bunch of different stuff and has been for a couple of years. But yeah, good stuff. Steam
Nice.
Deck compatible. So
It looks fun if you're into those kind of roguelike. It looks kind of like a twin stick.
yeah, I think it's not. It's the steering is. I mean, I'm on keyboard, so like A and D steer left and right,
Yeah.
and sort of the drifty Newtonian physics, and then forward and backward.
So more tank controls.
Yeah, more tank
Yeah.
controls. But yeah, it's been a really good time so far. Aside from that, not much else. I haven't been watching anything new. I am still watching Kenobi and really enjoying that. Um, there's a lot of discourse from people that can't just enjoy things online.
I've read about the whole big spoiler.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to spoil anything because I know some of our viewers still haven't had the chance to watch it or they're going to binge it at the end of the season. I don't
Yeah.
really want to say too much right now, but a lot of people went in expecting that it's just going to be Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Vader throwing down. Um, and while there may be some of that, people are mad that that's not all it is. They're like, oh, this other side stuff that doesn't matter. I'm like, my dude, that is the story. This
Yeah.
stuff you're saying doesn't matter. That is the story they are telling with this. So I need you to be on board, or if you're not on board, accept that this is a piece of Star Wars that you don't like and leave. I don't like Rise of Skywalker. Leave.
Not many
Um,
people do.
well, it's the thing is that it's like people need to either like Rise of Skywalker or Last Jedi, and they get very defensive about it. It's just if you don't like a thing, there is so much other Star Wars out there. I admit that some of it is like not shot super great,
Yeah.
but like there's some like nitpicky stuff that like oh that's odd and interesting, but it's it's makes some interesting choices that maybe I wouldn't have. I don't know if they were rushed, whatever. Overall, though, I'm enjoying the show.
Good.
Um, and it's really weird that I'm watching it on Wednesdays. Like the next episode drops in 7 hours, so it's just a
It's
weird time during the week.
it's like when you have your Wednesday's the night of the week where you don't watch anything besides the weekend Wednesday and
Oh yeah, yeah. um,
uh,
what about you, Dave? What are you playing? What are you watching? I
no, I
cannot
didn't get
actually.
I didn't get
So
that far yet.
why don't you come on over to the table, good sir? Thank you very much, Steve, for helping us work with things here while Dave was indisposed. Um, Obi-Wan year subscription to Disney Plus. Yeah, like I maintain a Disney Plus subscription, whereas I know that some of my friends and some of our viewers are like, I will subscribe to a month every 3 months and binge watch. So
Yeah, I just did that thing where you magically pass around passwords to things.
I
Like
would
I'll
never.
Oh, I would, and I do it. At me, companies that have subscription services. For example, thanks for the password, HBO user that I steal from.
Mm. Are you watching something on HBO right now? What are you into right now, good sir?
Um, a lot of Overwatch. And then just trying to get my Pokedex done in Legends Arceus. I'm not gonna lie. When you spend $60 on a game, you expect a certain amount of game, and man, Legends Arceus really decided to just go ham on seconds, thirds, and fourths on content. If you're willing to
It does
engage
seem like
with
it has an absurdly long tail. Like the same way with like I'm watching Steph play Hades and it just keeps going.
It does, don't it? Like, oh my god. There's so many quests for the different Pokemon and things like that. Um, but yeah, uh, that's I haven't really been watching anything other than MLB games. Overwatch League is starting back up. They had a like mid-season tournament to kind of give people a feeling of like here's where your teams are in the Overwatch League, this and that and the other. The San Francisco Shock didn't do well, so but this
Taco Pill
weekend,
mentioning that Time Traveler's Wife is one that's on HBO Max that I've heard good things about. So
nice. Our flag means death.
yeah,
Is
I
I watched
really need to watch that.
I watched a couple episodes a while ago, and man, what a show!
I keep on saying that I'll watch that after Steph and I finish Evangelion, and then we haven't watched an episode in like a month. So
At least it's better than saying, "Oh, I'll watch it after I finish One Piece." Like,
the One Piece is something that you put on hold while you do anything else in your life. Hey Dave,
yes,
since we didn't do this at the start, two fish are sitting in a tank.
yes. And what about them fish?
One says to the other, I really don't know why we're here. This team comp could really use some DPS.
Two fish
In a tank.
There it
The
is.
usual
All right.
punchline is, do you know how to drive this thing?
Ah. I liked it though. I liked it. I liked the cue. I liked the reference.
My
And
disappointment was immeasurable. My day's now ruined.
Okay, so we already talked to Twitch ban. The long and short of it was someone was racist in in-game chat and he got banned for a day.
You know what though? Let's be totally honest. I'm glad that that's starting to get caught. Like, cause
yeah, but at the same time, trolls in-game can weaponize that.
that is true. That's why I'm happy it's a 1-day ban, so that
Yeah, I
You
think
know-
it was supposed to be more, but then it was appealed. So
case by cases can be made
Yeah.
for it.
yeah, he was like, I'm not. If I don't acknowledge it, it'll scroll off the screen, it'll go away, and I won't invite any more of that. And I think in retrospect, they were like, that was probably a good move. I mean, you probably shouldn't have had open chat on in the first place. I don't know if that's an option in Diablo Immortal, but
That's part of the reason that a lot of the streams that I do, I don't necessarily want to show chat on my program because you never know what people are gonna say.
Jen just has a rectangle over in-game chat that just says shit talking goes here.
I know, like a lot of our friends who stream have their text chat visible, but a lot of them then make sure that if they know there's a situation could arise, they have quick moderation on.
Well, that's Twitch chat, not in-game chat. This happened from in-game chat.
No, yeah, I have that turned off forever.
Yeah. So like I don't know how much an option that is in Diablo Immortal. So anyway, and then I'm here for the shit talking. Chat in game tends to be toxic. Yeah. Daniel expose Amp's name. I mentioned what I've been playing, which is Sunless Skies that I've been really enjoying. And I think that more or less gets caught up. Dave, what's coming out in the next 7 days?
Well, I've got 3 games that are could be of interest to you. Let me just ask what are you buying? It could be these 3 games. We've got. Oh, right. Okay. I was looking at trailer 1 and I was like, I don't recognize that at all.
That was me.
The first one being presented in Nerd Division. We have got a game that was originally announced in 2019 under the name of Starship Troopers Terran Command.
Okay.
Now, for those of you who haven't watched Dave content or things like that, this, among many other things, is an IP that I love. I am all about Starship Troopers and anything associated with.
Continue.
So yeah, So by the way, huge shout out to Mike and Dan for having purchased this for me for my birthday. Like, what a killer thing! The tanker bug, because we'd all go to FYE when FYE was still in the mall. And I would be like, man, one of these days, Starship Troopers, would you like to know more? Yes, you would. I couldn't tell if I should do a bunch of references to it. So I was like, I don't know if anyone else likes this IP, so instead I'll just...
I enjoyed the movie enough. I would not... Actually, I would... I haven't done anything else in the IP. Actually, yes. When I was a child, I watched Starship Troopers Roughnecks, the CG show. Did you see that?
Yes, of course I've seen
Hell
it.
yeah.
Let me tell you all folks out there, Starship Troopers 1, great movie. Starship Troopers 2, a film in it. Starship Troopers 3 doesn't exist. Even if you have a copy in your hand, doesn't exist. Don't worry about it. Just like that live-action Dragon Ball Z movie and live-action Avatar. Doesn't exist. Don't worry about it.
Nah.
But we're talking Starship Troopers Terran Command. It is a PC exclusive game coming out on Steam. This is a game where you return to the battlefield as the mobile infantry, and you get to try to live forever. It is after the events on the Battle of Klindathu.
Okay.
Here's to the over 100,000 mobile infantry that lost their lives in that battle against the Bug Menace. The way this game differentiates itself from other tactical RPGs.
Yeah, I was gonna say this looks like RTS.
Yes. Is instead of being able to have a unit that makes a thing and then creates
That was a moist!
Resources, you get a set amount at the start of the level, and that's the amount you get for the duration of the level.
Okay.
There is a mechanic called obedience, where if you do the mission objectives to what the parameters are by your commanding unit, you will start the next mission with more
With extra.
than you would have, and potentially
Neat.
access to more, like, for example, potentially the PsyOps division of the mobile infantry.
All right.
This game is also differentiating itself in adding a line of fire mechanic where it matters where you are in the terrain. If you're up on a high ground and you're shooting down, it's once again another reference to having the high ground is very important, and don't try it, bugs.
BattleTech did a good job with that, but that's turn-based, and it's interesting to see that into a real-time strategy.
People were very afraid when this game got delayed because it was 2 years in development, and they said, is this game going to be free to play? Is it going to be full of microtransactions? And they announced that it is a single-player game with no online modes. So microtransactions really aren't going to do you any good in regards to loot boxes and all those other fees.
And all the things that we'll mention talking about a game that we've already mentioned, but boy, Diablo, you got to come in. Anyway, Starship Troopers.
So for $39.99, Starship Troopers Terran Command.
Oh, that's not a real game!
It's not. It's not. It tries to be. You know what game is really riding the hype machine?
While you bring that into Nerd Vision, welcome more like Rick and Mortis, and thank you for the 2 years that you've been subscribed. Thank you for renewing your subscription, 24 months. Our sub is 2 years old. It can kick a ball, run, walk up a few stairs without help, and eat with a spoon. Thank you very much for resubscribing.
Hell yeah. Enjoy your mic face emote and your exclamation point bald command, which you can use at your will here on Insane Games TV. This next game needs no introduction, but it'll get one anyway.
This needs no introduction, but screw it. I like it, so I'm introducing it.
This game gets no introduction. Just stare at the screen for
and then you just
minutes.
jump in the middle of the essay.
Coming out on the 16th for PC, Switch, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, an arcade beat-em-up that you're going to think to yourself, cowabunga, a return to a successful formula. Thank you. This game, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge, Raphael, Donatello, Michelangelo, Leonardo, April, Master Splinter, and the oft-forgotten Casey Jones return in a beat-em-up that can be only described as a successful continuation of a formula that has worked for so many years.
Nice. So this isn't a re-release. This is a new game.
Yes.
Nice.
This game being handled by some of the staff that had previously handled the IP for Scott Pilgrim versus the World and other beat-em-ups. They their studio had paired with Nickelodeon and had asked to do this IP and give it a game, and Nickelodeon said, money, yes, please. They also decided to give the 1987 theme song a remake, and who to get to sing this classic Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
Ed Sheeran.
Close. Close. I was gonna be really. To be honest, if it was Ed Sheeran, I probably would have led with that and been like, "What a crossover!" Actually, ironically
Rascal
enough,
Flatts.
Faith No More's Mike Patton.
Okay,
Um,
okay.
A band you may have heard of, but you also may have heard his work in previous video games.
I would have loved Avril Lavigne.
Slipknot, Avril Lavigne. It is set in the 87 universe. You are correct. You may recognize Mike Patton's work as the Angry Sphere from Portal.
Okay, okay.
He was also Rad Spencer from the Bionic Commando game. He was the main character.
Wow.
He also is credited as the voice lines of an ungodly amount of the zombies in Left 4 Dead and Left 4 Dead 2. The man also has another interesting career, but he has a video game pedigree like no other. Yeah.
It's always interesting when you go to IMDb. Where do I know this guy from? Additional voices, additional voices, additional voices. Anger Sphere. Wasn't that just...
Yep.
Additional voices, additional voices.
Ridiculous stuff. So this game itself is going to have a predominantly single-player mode, but if you're thinking to yourself, I have friends and they want to play this, you can have 4-player couch co-op on your systems, or 6-player online, where you can have all the gang. Or you can leave out Casey Jones. Because honestly, do you know who Casey Jones is? Of course you don't. But that's the theme song, by the way, bumping. Listen to it after the Citadel tonight before you go to bed.
Nice. Or during the countdown for the Citadel.
This last game, I know you're going to think to yourself, it must be an error. It must be an issue. But it's not. It is, in fact, the resurgence, the rebirth, the reaction of our good friends from Fall Guys.
I almost thought that said Five Guys. Sorry, Fall Guys.
No.
Wait. What? Oh. I was like, what the heck? Oh. I was confused for a second at the live action. That's a kind of commercial that hasn't been done in a long time. The, like, live action people hanging out and then stuff from the game world popping in. That feels like a very 2005 ad. Except then when first time it shows someone at a computer. That was Pokemon, wasn't it?
I don't know. If it
I was like, oh, it's a streamer because they got the ring light in the camera. I'm like, that's Pokemon, isn't it?
I feel very bad. I wouldn't know Pokemon if you
Okay.
put her in a lineup of photos. I don't.
She was in Free Guy. She was one of the personalities reacting.
So the difference is this game was originally by our friends at Devolver Digital. It is now owned and handled by our little brother at Epic Games. So kudos to you for taking this game to a free-to-play model.
Okay. Well, it was also on PC. It was a Epic Games Store exclusive for a while.
Yes. This game was originally only cross-play to PC to individual console, which at the time was only PlayStation.
Yep.
And then when it was on Xbox, it was PC and Xbox, PC and PlayStation, but not PC and Xbox.
Yeah.
Now they're doing that. They are continuing the 60-player elimination rounds. They have changed things a little bit, in so much as there is a season pass model of premium currency and
No, that's
things
not
of that
Pokemon.
nature.
All right.
But no longer are the crowns you win the currency. They are using something called Showbucks, a premium currency that you can purchase and get for free using your battle pass, or your season pass, excuse me, for Fall Guys. Evil monetization? Yes. Thankfully, in a game where, for example, you know what? Do you want to try playing this next week? Because it does come out on the 21st.
Sure, why not? I think we played this together on Nerd Glasses back in the old studio, didn't we?
Yes.
Yeah.
We also
Yeah, I'd
played
be
it
down
on
for that.
Sunday and the weekend Wednesday. This game was hot
Yeah.
when it first came out.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd be down for that.
But yeah, we'll see the changes, things like that. We'll bring the gaming to you. But yeah, that's there's a lot of other games coming out, and if I missed any out, please let me know in the comments.
Yep.
Let us know in the Discord, and make your voices heard with anything, news topics, things of that nature.
So normally I do try to wrap us up by quarter of, so Citadel can start at 9. I know you got a late start coming in here, and we got a lot to cover, so we are going to try to wrap it at 9 so the Citadel can start at 9:15.
No worries.
That said, really quick with crypto, not necessarily NFT specifically, but crypto, we don't have an example of someone finding out, shall we say. Instead, we've talked a lot about how crypto is, well, crashing. A lot of crypto is on the downswing, and this past week I saw a Twitter thread that was talking about the amount of power saved because of how the Ethereum market is crashing, specifically Ethereum. And someone turned that into numbers that were easy to understand. The amount of energy saved per day, the amount of carbon dioxide emissions saved per day compared to the peak when Ethereum was at its height is the equivalent of driving 75 million miles a day. To give you an idea of how much electricity is used in crypto mining and how bad it is for the environment, 75 million miles per day. And it's not even down to where the crypto market was like 4 years ago. It's down from its peak of late last year. Just a fun factoid regarding crypto, and one of the many reasons I'm against it. I go through my shirts in my closet every morning to see what I'm going to wear under my shirt at work, and I keep flipping past a Ritual Motion shirt, and I'm like, heh, and I keep going.
I, what, that's we've talked about millions and billions on this program for so many things, but oh my god, what a waste.
Yep.
Um,
So here's to hoping cryptocurrency keeps crashing and keeps, not being that, uh, not being that harmful with CO2 emissions.
you know what I am immediately reminded of that we really should have referenced?
What?
Steve messaged us this weekend about Hot Wheels NFT.
Oh, right.
And boy howdy, I was very confused.
It was
at
just
the
a
concept.
car in a blister pack, and it said it came with an NFT that, like, if you put it in your wallet, then you get a little, like, video of it driving. Or you can just get the car and say piss off and not redeem the NFT into your wallet and save everyone the heartache because you don't need to see a picture of your little cartoon car driving.
But the thing that made me laugh about it was, Steve, are those purchasable in stores? The NFT cars?
Not those specific decos on the cars.
But like there's going to be a line of NFT cars in stores.
No.
So are those only purchasable online? Like, how would I get one of these if I wanted to not get one of these?
You have to go to the Mattel website and buy for 25 USD. I am hearing myself talk on a delay. Jesus Christ, that was bad. All right, for 25
It's called
United
speech
States
jamming. It's fun.
dollars. I can't hear you guys. You get a pack of one car. Or no, it contains 7 cars, apparently. There's a limit of 26,321 of them.
Hot Wheels, what the
You-
fuck
So
are you doing?
wait a minute. So Steve, what you're telling me is that for $25 I get a limited run of Hot Wheels collectible cars
Yes.
that also happen to have NFTs paired with them.
Okay, forget the NFTs. That might be a decent deal with Hot Wheels. Hot Wheels are, yeah.
But that was the thing. Like I got all excited. I was like, wait a minute. That's the only NFT I think I might actually own in my entire lifetime, because you're buying a physical, fungible
No, what the thing is that
item.
you don't own the NFT until you redeem the code or whatever to go into your crypto wallet. Until then, you just own the car. Like, they could say, oh, you own this, and without you having a crypto wallet to put it into, there's nothing to show for that. So it's like Burger King a year and a half ago were trying to give away crypto when you ordered anything using their app. And it would come into my email and I would be like, I ain't redeeming that. So what did I get for my purchase? Some Burger King food, which is infinitely more useful to me than cryptocurrency.
So what we're saying here is that there's potentially a topicable collectible to have here on the set. Are all of them sold out, Steve?
Yes, they are.
Ah,
Oh, I was
Uh,
about to see what cash I had in my wallet. I think I have like $8.
come on, crypto
there's
bros.
a lot of
Well, I mean, also Hot Wheels Bros.
uh, a lot of actually 2021 releases of the cars. Like Muscle and Blown was a 2021 car. The Corvette C8R is a 2021 car.
Uh-huh.
Steve's one of those Hot Wheel collectors.
Yes, I am. If you go in my office, there's like a ton. If you go in my house, there's a ton more. Uh, yeah, it's
So-
a lot. Oh, there's
So
a
the
BR2 one.
unfortunately we missed our chance to get funny haha NFT collectibles.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh no.
yeah, I'm gonna lose sleep about it. Oh no,
Don't
I
worry,
won't.
Dave. They'll go on eBay and you can get them for $2.
I'm gonna lose sleep over this fucking DR2. It looks cool. I just
Anyway,
like that car. But yeah.
that's enough out of you, present day Steve. I think it's about time we go to one of our special reports. How does that sound, Dave?
Of course.
So last week we had a call through a temporal wormhole to talk to past Steve while he was reporting live from the PlayStation conference, and there are still conferences going on because it is what used to be called E3 season. Rest in peace, E3. And we're actually going to dial up this past weekend. I actually moved my finger like a rotary dial.
That's how we dial into the past. By the way, it's old rotary phones.
I'm not
so
even
go get
using a
them now.
DHD to make the Stargate dial itself. Anyway, what button do I hit for this?
It's
That one. Yes.
one.
All right. Heading back to past Steve, that is at the Microsoft conference right now. Steve, can you hear me?
Damn it, my goatee. It's dead. Fuck it. Welcome to the
Steve.
past of
Steve.
What?
Any news of the next Elder Scrolls game?
There's news of an Elder Scrolls game,
Steve.
but we'll get to it later on. Starting off the conference, Redfall. It's Borderlands with vampires.
Okay.
Each character has a different class kind of thing. It looks fun. Looks kind of dumb, but Borderlands is kind of dumb, but kind of fun.
It's interesting as you're reporting from the past. Me with my whole 3 extra days of wisdom in the future, and I'm kind of like, yeah, nobody really talked about Redfall, kind of thing. So okay, Redfall.
Hollow Knight Silk Song exists, and
That
it
I've
will
heard
be
a lot
out
about.
within all the games announced at this conference will be out from now until June 12th, 2023.
Interesting that you say that. I heard Xbox say that all the games shown at this conference, not necessarily all the games talked about at this conference, but we'll get to that. But yeah, I think when Silk Song was announced, I heard my sister-in-law scream in excitement all the way from Binghamton. So anyway,
You like Rick and Morty? Most
Yeah.
people don't, but you do.
I do.
High on Life, a game by the creators of Rick and Morty and Solar Opposites, will be coming out. It's a first-person shooter. All the guns have faces, and it's so weird.
okay,
And
that sounds like a Rick and Morty creator thing.
knifey. That's it. Everyone loves knifey for some reason. It's cool. It's a knife.
That sounds cool. To have a shooter that like really earnestly leans into the I don't take myself seriously department. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
I mean, you mentioned Steve mentioned Borderlands at one point, and that does that similarly too. But it's nice to kind of see that there's multiple ways to not take yourself seriously.
although the guns that usually talk in Borderlands are punitive purely. Like what else is going on in that conference, Steve?
In a twisted turn of events, not really twisted, but very twisty. If you have Game Pass, all heroes from League of Legends, Wild Rift, Valorant, Legends of Runeterra, and Teamfight Tactics will be unlocked in October.
That's odd. Announced during the Microsoft conference?
It's a partnership.
Okay.
If you have Game Pass, then you get all that.
Oh, okay. Interesting. So it's like the game is free to play, but the game on Game Pass it unlocks the characters for you.
Yep, for
Very cool.
PC. I think just PC only,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
that's
Uh,
awesome.
Well, I mean, so League characters, you
Yeah.
said. League of Legends.
Yep.
All the champions.
All champs unlocked if you have Game Pass.
That's value. That's just straight
Yeah.
up value is what that
And of course,
for
like
any
a
of those
month,
games. If you're going to play it
like a month ago, we had people complaining Game Pass doesn't have value right now because it was during a slow season, and now it's like now we're showing what's coming up and what value you're gonna get out of Game Pass. That's cool. That is so much.
A note though, all of these games that I have mentioned and will mention in the Xbox conference have something to do with Game Pass, whether it be the base game is on Game Pass, it'll be playable through Game Pass at some point, or when it launches.
I mean, Game Pass is Microsoft's big thing right now. Like the Xbox Series is doing great for them, but but Game Pass is almost like their main product now. And so they are definitely investing a lot into it. Demon Dragon pointing out that's a huge value, especially for new players. Yeah, like for experienced players that have all the champs that they want to play on a semi-regular basis, maybe not all of them, but all that they would care to play, not as big a deal. But for someone that like, the game is over 10 years old or whatever, for someone that wants to try it out, they have Game Pass, just being like, oh, that character looks interesting, and just being able to play them, not having to wait for it to come up in free rotation, not having to drop riot points on it. That is wild. All right, what else you got, past Steve?
Another trailer for A Plague Tale Requiem. I saw the trailer. I honestly don't remember shit about it. It's not for me. What could be
That's
for
another
you?
one that here in the future we're not hearing anything about either. So Plague Tale the Plague Tale Requiem. Continue.
I guess it looks fun for the people that it's made for, but Flight Simulator 40th Anniversary launches November 2022.
Oh man.
As well as today, June 12th, you can fly the Pelican all across the world, wherever you want.
I can fly a pelican.
Not a pelican, the pelican from Halo.
I was going to say the pelican from Finding Nemo.
Yeah!
Then this is okay. So like, remember back in Forza Motorsport 4 when the Jesus fucking when the Warthog first showed up in game, and that was really cool like that. This is that. Like the Pelican is now a fly. Is this a limited time thing, or is this just it's in the game now?
It's free DLC.
Awesome, cool. So it's in the game. I hate it when there's like a limited time crossover event.
That's
this is just
so
in the game.
cool.
You said 40th anniversary. Is that still Microsoft Flight Sim? Like, is it still the current iteration of the game, or is that a new game?
I think it's just an expansion.
Okay, so it's an expansion on this. I was worried because when Star Wars Squadrons came out, I potentially needed a new joystick, and I couldn't get them because of everybody playing Squadrons. And also it was 2020, and there was shortages and stuff. But
More like rigor mortis would prefer the Finding Nemo pelican. Demon Dragon, I think flying a pelican animal would be awesome. I can't.
yeah, hold on.
I can't argue that wouldn't be fun.
I want multiplayer, and you're flying a pelican bird around the airport, and then guess what? Bird strike!
Oh God. You have to think the TSA would say something about that. You have to believe they'd be like, for security's sake, we cannot have people taking off at JFK and figuring out what angle they need a bird to be flying at.
No, I was just imagining you are the bird just flying out there in the wilderness. But if you're saying a pilot, put your cap on and get on the back of this pelican. Oh, no, of course you don't get on the cap. You get in the bill.
So it's I'd be really curious to try flying the pelican in game, knowing that the mechanics in Flight Sim are usually that of planes of current day, jets and biplanes and all that stuff.
I don't know if they're in the. I assume that there's helicopters in the game. I know there were in Flight Sim X, and that the newest Flight Sim launched with fewer things. But I imagine that like helicopters are in there, so like VTOL aircraft, which is basically what a Pelican is it can just kind of hover there. I imagine they're in the game. It shouldn't be too hard to adapt.
Can I continue to tangent for just a minute on
I'm
Flight
sorry,
Sim?
continue.
No. Is that all right, past Steve? Do you have a minute?
I have all the time in the world right
Okay.
now.
Should we not tell him about what happens to him Monday?
What?
Nothing.
Nothing.
So, long ago, my grandfather used to fly planes, and when he went to go get his pilot's license re-upped, they told him you absolutely may not fly, and they gave him Microsoft Flight Simulator to use so that he could, because he did have the skills, he did a lot of these things, but they just, with his sight and age, they just couldn't in good faith continue
Okay.
to give him things. So I, as his nerdy grandson, got to help him set up a computer, set up Flight Sim, and show him how to open up Flight Sim,
Okay.
things like that. And I caught that man. He fought in 2 world wars and had 4 daughters, and he had all bunch of us nerdy grandkids, and he loved that thing. He didn't use it very much, but he did use it, and I know for a fact that he did. So it was like one of those fun things of like knowing that my grandfather played it and used Flight Sim, and
That's
did say
awesome.
that he did like it. And he was rather not a fan of a lot of other video games. He would watch us play them. He would. But then when we'd ask his opinion, he'd be like, meh, nah.
Yeah.
It's not a real game.
I'm glad you're having fun. Kind of response.
Yeah. Flight Sim, for your money, good value.
Yeah.
Good value.
Especially now that the Pelicans in there. Steve, what else you got?
All right, I'm going to rapid fire a lot of these because all are 2 or 3 words on my note sheets. Aura History Untold. It is a turn-based history game.
Cool.
Arc 2 comes out 2023.
If you like biological dinosaurs in your game as opposed to the mechanical dinosaurs of Horizon, Ark. It's a game. Play it. Sequel's coming out.
I believe right now, June 12th, it is free on Steam, one of the Arc games.
Okay.
And it might still be free in your future, but probably not. Scorn. Couldn't find anything about it after the trailer. October 21st, 2022 is when it's releasing, though.
Okay.
Flintlock Siege of Dawn gets the first trailer, comes out 2023.
Yeah, I'm noticing a lot of these, like you said, coming out in the next 365 days. Yeah. Assuming that they don't have to push them back, which, knock on wood, could happen, but the current plan is not to.
Gonna jump back a bit. Elder Scrolls High Isle. Elder Scrolls Online High Isle. There goes my pen. Comes out June 21st. The next expansion to the Elder Scrolls Online universe.
Okay.
I guess it's a new area that you can explore.
All right. So not Elder Scrolls 6. Did we get anything else from Bethesda then instead of just the ESO expansion?
Fallout Online, also known as Fallout 76, is getting the Pit expansion with 2 T's. I think it means Pittsburgh.
Yep.
Yeah. It looks like Fallout 76.
Just let it die, Bethesda.
Kotaku, actually, I shared this in the group chat. I forget when I did it, past Steve. I forget if you read it, but I know present day Steve here has read it. Kotaku did a really good kind of investigative article talking about the human toll of Fallout 76 is what they called it. I do recommend people reading it. It was a really good one talking about the crunch and how poorly QA was treated. Worth checking out. I think we're going to try to get that link, but continue.
Jumping a bit forward, I'm going to save the best leads for last. Lightyear Frontier comes out spring 2023.
Okay.
Gunfire Reborn 2022 at some point this year. I think that's a 2. Can't read my own writing. Yes, it is a 2. Last Case of Benedict Fox, a cinematic Metroidvania. It actually looks pretty interesting.
Okay.
It's very stylistic of kind of like a noir film. That's what I got out of it, at least.
Okay.
It looks pretty fun. As Dusk Falls, a psychological drama.
I almost thought you said Duskfall, which is Blades in the Dark setting.
But It is as dusk falls. Psychological drama comes
Okay.
out July 19th. Naraka Blade Point. It's I don't remember much from the trailer. It looked good. That's all I do remember. June 23rd, 2022 it comes out.
Okay. Just at this point, let's skip to the big ones because I know that you're also looking forward to going to the Capcom conference in a couple days, past Steve. I
Absolutely.
do want to make sure that we get everything in. So with everything else that you were mentioning, with just one or two things and an upcoming release date in the next 360 days or so, a lot of stuff was announced. A lot of stuff looked really cool, but didn't necessarily like stick out to us as, oh, hey, that might be a gem in the rough that we're really looking forward to. So let's go to a couple of the big news items that happened there, and then we got to cut to Monday Steve on you.
You have game consoles and PCs, don't you? Diablo 4 gets a 2023 release, adds the Necromancer. And I guess after you beat the
Nice.
story mode, there's just a big end game. It looks good.
Okay. I mean, I'm still like on any money going to Activision. So I'm weirdly meh now on Diablo stuff, but I'm sure at some point I'll come back and I'll be like, yes, this will be my jam because Necromancer is what I always played in too.
But
So
what of the microtransactions, Steve?
I don't know. If you don't like spending money on Activision Blizzard, boy, do I got a game for you. Overwatch 2 gets a release date. Finally. October 4th, 2022. Going to be free to play on all consoles. And adding two new heroes, Sojourn and Junker Queen. The internet loves Junker Queen. I have seen.
The internet's always been in love with Junker Queen, first of all, because
you
she's
okay,
been a
Dave?
known entity in the Overwatch lore for many, many years. Whispers, fables, tinfoil hats.
Speaking of tinfoil, I've got a buddy with me. On my side of the set, Hideo Kojima announced that he is partnering with Microsoft to make a game. A lot of the internet is speculating that it's going to be Overdose.
was Kojima there in person?
He was in video talking to the camera. That's not a good sign right there.
that's the nerd alarm going off.
Was he? Yeah, it's the fact that we're talking about Kojima without tinfoil. That's really what the alarm is. That's really what it is. We didn't put tinfoil hats on, and we're talking about Kojima on the program, and we're not talking about Death Stranding. Was he holding up today's newspaper while he was in the video?
Well, so here's the interesting thing, is that I mentioned before the distinction that all the games shown will come out in the next 365 days. They didn't show anything from Kojima. He just came out and said, I'm making a game for Xbox. And past Steve, I'm going to let you speculate. How do you think the internet reacted to this?
Outside of me.
Thank you, Conspiracy Baseball.
Tinfoil.
You know what would have been
Conspiracy
really
Baseball
great is if we
smile.
had if we then made sure that we got that from past Steve and put that on here too.
He's
so
on
we had-
vacation right now. He's off today.
Anyway, how do you believe the internet reacted to the idea of Kojima making a game for Xbox?
They were pissed because it's not on PlayStation.
Yeah, it's not that hard to guess from the past that, yeah, a lot of people base their identities around which lump of plastic games come out for. And they were very mad that Kojima was making something for this other lump of plastic instead of their lump of plastic. And they started online petitions to cancel the Xbox game and move it to PlayStation.
That's not how it works.
So what? So first of all, the troll of all internet trolls, outside of Peter Molyneux, appeared during the conference, said nothing except for "I'm making a game for the Xbox," and people are mad about it.
Kojima had to clarify, and I believe he did this yesterday, so you can have this to look forward to past Steve. Kojima had to clarify that they are still Kojima Productions is still also working with PlayStation. They have good relationships with both of the camps, and creatively they can do what they want. Just Microsoft gave them money to make this one, and they're gonna do that, but they're gonna keep making these other things for PlayStation, and it'll be fine.
Yeah,
You
so
didn't come out and say Death Stranding 2 is going to be PlayStation, don't worry, but we know.
So weird.
Uh,
Demon Dragon, you guys need one of those tinfoil
Wall-mounted
dispensers mounted
paper
on your
towel
wall.
dispensers.
I'm gonna
So we can just be like, time for the tinfoil.
gonna jump through these last few big ones really quickly. Persona is coming to Xbox.
Nice.
Cool.
3 portable, 4 gold, and 5 royal.
Yes.
Starfield looks really good. That's all I gotta say about that.
Starfield is Bethesda's next big one. And up here in our present, your future, we're hearing kind of mixed things. They're saying 1,000 planets, and a lot of people are like, that is exhaustingly large. People are starting to look at like, can we just have a few finely crafted story planets instead of 1,000 procedural gray wastelands? So we'll see how that balance is struck. There might be a couple of really good like hub worlds or something, but a lot of people are like, you are just filling out the game for being able to say so. And then people like looking back at Dragon Age 2 and being like, remember how that did stuff within a single city and made it feel alive and changed with time, and how, especially if they'd gotten the budget to do that? Man, we kind of missed the boat there. Now we're just going big and bloated with everything. So, it does look like an interesting game. A lot of people are saying it looks like it'll be too big, but I guess we have to wait. What was the release date you said?
Sometime within the next 365.
Sometime in the next 365 days to find out.
Kind of ending off on my Xbox tirade. Minecraft 2, also known as Minecraft Legends, has been announced. It's kind of like a mix between Minecraft Dungeons and the original Minecraft. It's like an open world fighting combat game rather than open world exploration.
Interesting.
The Forza Horizon 5 Hot Wheels DLC has officially been announced after being leaked a few days ago for July 19th, 2022. 10 new cars being added, a whole bunch of orange track to race on. There's something about 100 plus miles of orange Hot Wheels track to race on. And finally, the big one, Forza Motorsport, coming spring 2023. It looks fantastic.
Forza Motorsport without a number. Thanks, guys. Have they said?
No.
Have they
you
said
have
that
a
it is-
number system and it worked so well. Why?
Oh, Dave, can you imagine another decade from now when they come out with the PlayStation?
Oh, I'll be dead then. I really will. Like the
If
year.
not by natural causes, then by my own hand, so I don't gotta deal with it.
Hell, that's frozen over. Cats and dogs are marrying.
Mass hysteria. Thank you very much, Past Steve. We're at 5 minutes to when I wanted to end, so we're going to skip forward in time. Enjoy hanging out with Kojima and get out of him what you can. Bring us some snacks or something. Thanks so much for reporting to us from the Xbox thing on Saturday.
Oh, trust me, I've got snacks to bring. It's
Oh, boy.
quick snacks. Good snacks.
All right. We are running a lot later than I wanted to, but
That's all right.
do you have anything you want to do? Because I know we mentioned Steve had something from Monday. I don't know if we just want to leave him hanging for next week, but he's in the past. He won't notice.
Exactly. No worries. I just did want to talk more about the Overwatch 2 reveal event.
Nice.
It is going to be June 16th at 10 a.m. PT.
Okay.
Um,
So that'll be 1 p.m. here.
So on YouTube and Twitch, play Overwatch. They're going to be talking more about the Junker Queen. They are going to be talking about the October 4th release, the crossplay beta that is going to be, and I mentioned the words crossplay, which meaning that the PC so far, the Overwatch 2 beta was just for PC.
Uh-huh.
It's going to be released for consoles as well.
Nice.
The big thing coming out of this is the fact that Overwatch 2 will be free to play, but the PvE element that is so fabled and so discussed is not going to be a part of that.
Okay.
It is just going to be the PvP. that you know and love and already do, with the added new maps, new characters, and game modes. It is still, as promised, going to be compatible with your original copy of Overwatch. So you
Yep.
don't have to necessarily do anything with Overwatch 2.
So
But
free to play is your multiplayer expansion for Overwatch 1.
yes. Yep.
If you don't own Overwatch, is it still going to be free to play for you?
I have a feeling you will be able to be put into those game modes, but you will not be able to select them.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, if the map changes over to a push map, you'll be doing that. I'm looking forward to seeing more about the Junker Queen, and I'm really looking forward to seeing more about all these things going on with it. Overwatch 2 hype.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. I have no more news topics today, so I will let you call the shots as you see them, good sir.
So I believe Steve, present day Steve, did have a surprise for us. There's
Yes.
many topics going into the table of topics. Apple iOS and your Nintendo making some friends. Yes, they are. Ben Studios talking about a new project. Battlefield 2042. Why won't you die? The Grammys have some things to say about video games. Sea of Thieves. July 21st is getting an expansion. Very exciting. Mr. Manbeard might be making a return on the weekend Wednesday following that expansion. And the one story while Steve is getting ready with the things is recently the PlayStation Game Pass tiers became live in the United States. And an eagle-eyed person was looking on the Game Pass at the original games and noticed that Tekken 2 costed for you to purchase $9,999. A mistake, because a copy of Tekken 2 should be worth $10K. It's great, but not $10K worth of great.
Wow. What do you have for us?
Present day Steve.
All right. So I was perusing.
And this looks like Cocoa Puffs.
So I was perusing the interwebs between Nerd Glasses and my shift, and I found and immediately pitched to Dave and Boder. Though it was met with very meh, or just not at all. Wendy's Frosty Chocolate Cereal.
Dave? I'm having some.
This looks like Cocoa Puffs.
It does. It looks like Cocoa Puffs, but
So right after stream, I kidnapped Dave. We went to Target, where they had 2 boxes of Wendy's Frosty Chocolatey cereal on clearance.
1 second, Boder. Sorry, I'm covering up your live reacts too, but this is what the cereal looks like. There it is on the box.
it doesn't taste like a Frosty.
It does. Oh no!
You go ahead and have a bite.
In typical fashion, I'll make sure to make this as ASMR positive as possible.
Well, it's like what did we have last week or the week before that was just very disappointingly normal?
Did they get taken off the set?
Oh, come on.
No, they're right behind you.
Ah!
They're in the Blockbuster case.
Oh, gross!
What were they?
In the Blockbuster box.
Oh, God. Yeah, right. The macaroni and cheese gummies. That's what it was. They're really disappointing.
I got Mike to try one.
What did he think?
They're very meh.
Yeah, they were gummies. And these are Reese's Puffs.
Dan refused
no,
to try them.
Cocoa Puffs. What's your verdict, Dave? They are not as chocolatey Cocoa Puffs. There's nothing frosty about them. I mean, a lot of a frosty is about the texture.
I like it. They're Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah,
They're pretty much Cocoa Puffs, but there's nothing wrong with Cocoa Puffs.
it's a Cocoa Puff. It's a Cocoa Puffs branding exercise.
Well worth the $3. And thank you, Steve, for bringing us once again. I have been keeping an eye out for that gray poupon ice cream.
Oh, I have been too. Don't worry. It's got pretzels, and it's supposed to taste like mustard.
Well, as we keep working on this, Steve, I apologize that we left you hanging on Monday. How long, present day Steve? How long were you waiting on Monday for us to call in?
I'm still waiting.
You're still waiting. All right, maybe next week we'll call a few minutes from now and just keep playing around with the timelines.
Okay.
Um, or
Maybe
you
that's
or you can drop it into table topics for us in the Discord. A lot of stuff that we didn't get to. So, like at the start of the show, I talked about some of the topics that I tabled last week as we were waiting for people to show up. But if you want to check out table topics, go to Discord. Bunch of cool stuff to do there. Join the discussion. Hang out with us. Give us some ideas for stuff that you see during the week in news topics. We'd love to hear it. In the meantime, please stay tuned because I'm gonna hit the button because Dave didn't see it before. After Nerd Glasses, I'm going to be playing Sunless Skies, a very cool kind of dark horror steampunk game that reminds me a lot of the tabletop RPG Blades in the Dark, as far as its setting. Really enjoy it. I've been addicted to it the past few days, and Steam Cloud Save is a thing, so we're picking up in the middle of my save. I'll catch you all up, and we'll be playing that for hopefully only about 2.5 hours, but who knows? 1 a.m. might come sooner than expected. And so I hope that you stick around for that on the Citadel immediately after Nerd Glasses. If not, come right back here next Tuesday at 7:45 p.m. for the Nerd Glasses podcast. From all of us here on Cruise Day, I've been Boater,
I've been Dave Mann.
and we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody!